Yeah, basically, I'm here with Chris, and Chris and I have been working on a couple Clay lead enrichment and research projects, helping them some of their data. But yeah, Chris, I wanted to talk a little bit about with you, like, what did you come to us for, and what's your role at the company?
So I'm a senior marketing manager at UtilityProfit. We're a prop tech software solution. And I initially got connected with you, Adam, and Stellar Growth when we were looking to sort of take our go-to-market to the next level. We have a multi-channel sort of outbound approach. And to do that, we like to start with the cleanest, best data. So we actually found Adam and Stellar Growth to help us initially build some lists that could sort of feed our outbound funnel.
Yeah, I think you came to us right about the time that we had developed our like super cheap and efficient way to find local businesses, in your case, property managers. Yeah, I think we actually finished the first project under budget, but I'm curious, like, what state were you in at that time? What other alternatives were you considering for data and maybe still using?
So at the time of the initial project, as a company, we were seeing really good traction, and we were just looking for how do we scale and add fuel to the fire. So it's a good problem to have, but we had a lot of urgency in terms of like how can we grow our list so we could operate at a larger magnitude. On top of that, my wife was also 9 months pregnant when we kicked off our first engagement, so there was multiple layers of urgency in terms of let's get the work done and get it out, and also my baby could come any day. So before we found Stellar Growth, we tried to do most of this stuff in-house. We're a pretty scrappy company and consider ourselves generalists, but there comes a time when we had to look in the mirror and realize we can do this, but can we do it at the quality and speed that our business needs to grow? And that's when we realized, okay, let's find a professional. Let's find someone who's an expert at this, who can maybe not just do it for us, but maybe show us a couple things we might not be considering, knowing that the product we're going to get at the end is a higher quality and ended up being faster than what we could do in-house anyway, with any sort of manual scraping and enrichment that, to be honest, it's something every company should be doing, especially on the marketing outbound side, but you'd have to ask yourself, like, is there someone who could do it better and faster and not cheaper, because cheap's relative, but at a price that really delivers strong ROI? And I think that's what we find with Stellar Growth.
Yeah,
So
that's
much so much so that I think the best validation I can give is we've gone back 2 or 3 times, and now we're working together very consistently on multiple projects. So that's probably the best validation that I could give. So we came to Stellar Growth because we know the data is kind of the foundational layer for any go-to-market motion you have as a company. Like, it starts with, do you know who your ICP is? Are you able to go out and find them, and are you able to find quality contact information to get in touch with them? Doesn't matter if it's a marketing channel or a sales channel, but like building that list for your market, it will have the returns you'll get downstream are almost hard to realize because it just compounds. The better data in, the better data out, the more effective your go-to-market motion is going to be. So that was why, like, now at UtilityProfit, when we kick off maybe a new audience or a new data project, like, Stellar Growth is our first call.
awesome. Yeah, we've been refining our systems. I think together we come up with like a little bit of documentation on how to run future projects. Obviously, the CRM project was the biggest project that we did with you guys. Like, what do you feel like the data is in a lot better place now after we worked on that?
Yeah, I do. And I'd say for any marketing leader or executive who's like looking for help on the growth side of their business, know that the operations and the technical details are just as valuable as the data themselves. So we spent a lot of time with Stellar Growth upfront, and they took the time to get to know our CRM. And that's all the way down to like, what fields are you using, what types of fields, because everything is, you know, a lot of times pushed via API, and the last thing you want is to tank your CRM. So you're looking for things like not just quality data, but making sure you're getting rid of duplicates. You're cleaning out things that don't work, and you're building a machine that can maybe automatically enrich itself in the future. So you're not constantly going back to well to have these big projects, but you're building a system that scales. Your data stays clean, and your CRM stays clean. And like, I'd say, if you're looking at different providers, dig into the details on how any agency goes about those minute details. Have them explain their process to you, because we enjoyed working with Stellar Growth because they didn't skip over some of those fine details. And as a result, our own sort of data lake and CRM is in a really healthy place.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Chris. Anything else you want to share?
As any growth or marketing leader, working with Stellar Growth is one of the best investments you can make for your company.
Thank you so much, Chris. That's awesome to hear. And thanks for spending some time with me.